How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at Scrub Games, and today we've got a nice little deck profile here, and it's of my yellow Palpatine list. So I've been trying out all the different leaders. We're trying to figure out my favorite way to play each of the different leaders, because while you can play some of them multiple ways, some of them you've only got a couple ways. It's kind of pretty nice, pretty interesting to play. I'm trying to figure out what my favorite way is, what aspect combination is for each of the ones, because with each leader there's one that I feel is better or more interesting to myself. And for Palpatine, I was trying to look into what I kind of wanted to do with it, because with most the green and blue dark side leaders, I feel like each different one has is the better way to play certain aspect combinations. Because when it comes to the dark side of leads, they're more controlling ones, not so more where the heroic ones are more aggressive, the dark side ones are more controlling. And I'm finding with some leads they do it better for that aspect combination than others. Like if I wanted to play mono, I go mono blue for Iden. Basically, a lot better when it comes to controlling and doing for the control aspect there. If I want to try blue green, I'm more inclined to go Tarkin, because he's got a nice benefit of just powering up the little guys, but doing the same thing as other leaders do with the whole control stuff of red blue, also blue green. But I'm with the rampant stuff, but also then the boosting of units, because most of your stuff is Imperial, is a lot more beneficial than most. Like a Krennic, probably a bit of blue red seems quite good for him, but I don't see him doing much anything better than with the other aspect combinations. And then for Palpatine, I was trying to kind of figure out what would be the best way to go for this, because like I said, if I wanted to go blue with it, I'd rather go Tarkin. If I want to go mono, you can go mono green, but then that's a lot more beneficial next set with set 2 with some of the ever nice looking double aspect, double command cards. And if I want to go red, I would go Vader. So not that. And then I thought yellow, even though yellow, you probably most people will say if you want to go yellow with a green lead, you can go Boba. Boba's a lot better. Well, it is the most popular, one of the most popular combinations and one of the most popular ways to play Boba. Yeah, I'm not that interested in playing Boba Green. I've tried Boba Green. It doesn't for me. It is a good deck, but it isn't for me. It wasn't that interesting when I tried it out, and I prefer to go mono yellow for Boba. So I was thinking about trying out Palpatine to see how we go for yellow, and it's actually a lot of fun because there's nice things that yellow provides that can help make this leader quite interesting, and actually goes well with its effects. So if we have a look at it, so we'll get into the list, but before we get into the deck profile, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It keeps you updated with my videos as and when they drop. And if you hit the notification bell, you can get alerts when my videos do drop, so you can watch them there and then at a later date that suits you best. So getting into it, we're using Cunning for our base, because Palpatine is inherently command, so he's green and black. And we're using in yellow, so we're out of base to access to yellow stuff without the aspect penalty. Because remember, with the aspect penalty, you've got to pay an extra 2 resources for each aspect that doesn't match what's on your leader and base. So to make sure we don't have to do that for yellow, we're adding the yellow base and one for an Administrator Tower, because it's more the dark side for base, because you got some that's more a dark side setting and more a light side setting. So I've got for Administrator Tower because I might like the look of it. And for our lead, we go for Palpatine. So Palpatine, he is the latest deploying leader in the game for for both sets, but especially for set 1, because he deploys a whopping 8 resources, so you have to get to 8 resources to actually deploy. So if you're going against aggro, you might struggle even dropping him in the game, but against control decks, you can probably make it there. And he's in the command aspect, which is where all the ramp is, so if you want to get to him, you've got options in command to kind of ramp up to get him out a little bit quicker and a bit earlier. Now, his effect in both areas is basically killing your own stuff, so you can ping some damage around, so put small increments of damage around, while also then drawing cards and then gaining advantage, which is always nice. A leader that draws by just doing small actions is really nice, and there's great ways to kind of trigger. And he also has his ability to kill some of your own stuff, helps trigger some effects you want to trigger, and you can then have control of when they trigger because you can kill them yourself. He does bring a very few traits to the table as well, because he brings the Force traits for Force stuff, Imperial for the Imperial stuff, Sith, which isn't really anything at the moment, and then Official for a small amount of cards that kind of want something that's official. So a good amount of traits there, and also when he does deploy, he does come in at quite small 4 damage, but it's not too bad. It's not a lot, but it's not too bad. And a whopping 10 health. So until Jabba comes on set 2, it's the highest health on a leader in the game. And yeah, with his effect in the leader area, it's an action effect where you have to pay 1, tap himself, and kill off one of your friendly units, or as the phrase is for Star Wars, defeat. You deal damage to a unit and then draw a card. And that damage to a unit is relevant because he's got the first for set 1, the first when deployed effect on lead. So when you do deploy it, it's got when deployed where you take control of the damage to non-leader unit. So if you've got damage on any of your opponent's units, when he's deployed, you take control of it. So even if you've got a shield, put a shield in it after it's been damaged, as long as it's damaged, you can take control of it, which is very nice. So you can take something from your opponents before they even get to make use of it or attack with it. So then you can make use of it instead. Like it's got the kind of flavor of like corrupting people, bringing them to the dark stuff and light side. And now his effect is action head on the leader area is now an on attack effect. So it's the same kind of thing, except without the cost of paying 1, tapping it, and defeating a unit as the cost. Is now on attack. You can defeat another unit if you want to, another friendly unit if you want to. You don't have to, because you may. But if you do, you deal damage to a unit and draw a card. So still keeping that draw, which is very nice. You can build up quite a big hand with this deck, and with this leader, sorry. And yeah, just basically sack off something that you don't care about or it's already attacked, and then just draw a card and ping some damage on, like maybe finish something off or put enough damage so you can then finish off with an ever swing. Quite nice, quite versatile, and is a really, really, like, before I looked at it, I thought it's like effect seems amazing, but deploying the 8, I don't know, like how is gonna be great, but actually from a bit of testing, it actually is a lot of fun. So that's the leader and base combination. So then we get into the list, and as always, we start with the units, and then we'll start with the events. Then we'll go with like any upgrades if there is some. So start with the units, and we're not going for like I normally do for ground and space. We're doing them all together, all the units. Start with the like lower cost till we get to the higher cost. So starting off with Seasoned Sword Trooper, very nice cheap unit, 2 cost, 2 free to the stats, Imperial and Trooper, and it's got a nice little effect where you control 6 or more resources. It gains an extra 2 power. So in the early game, it's just a 2 free, which is not that impressive. But as it gets later on, it's a very cheap 2 cost, 4 free when you get 6 or more resources. So you have 3 copies of these for some nice things to play on turn 1. You always want something nice to play on turn 1, and this is a pretty decent one. The next to go with that, you got Colonel Yularen. So this one's a unique unit because you got that little subtitle, and also you've got the little star next to the name. So this is never one you can play turn 1. 2 cost, 2 free, same kind of stats. But he with same traits. He's got Imperial, but he's also official, not a trooper. He's an official, and his effect is when you play a command unit, and what the hyperspace doesn't tell you is it includes itself, and you heal 1 damage in your base. So it adds a nice bit of healing. So if you want to go against aggression, where you could struggle trying to get to late game resources to kind of deploy your lead, Colonel Yularen is really nice. It offers a bit of healing to kind of survive as long as possible. So you can actually, when you get to the later game where you establish yourself, you can kind of still be alive to play the game. So a very nice one. Play 3 copies of it because it's very useful. Also, it's never a nice turn 1 play, especially if you go against like Sabine and they're like, before the end of the turn, you want to ping some damage for their effect. You can get just Yularen, heal out 1 damage, and then you go into your turn. You still played something that made use of your resources. So a very nice unit there. Then we've got the next one, which I've loved this card since I saw it. I always wanted to use it, but then it doesn't really see much play, but I've enjoyed it enough to see it basically uses some like decks like Han and stuff. I've just really liked this card and put it back in my lists, and that is Patrolling V-Wing. So this is never a unit you can play turn 1, a 2 cost, but it's got very mediocre stacks. It's only a 1/1 vehicle fighter, so a space unit, and its effect is just when played, draw a card. Now I really like this because it allows you to establish something on board, especially something to do turn 1. Establish something on board. Something you can kill off with your leader, so you can get that ping damage and draw a card, and also replace itself. The really nice thing is it's basically a cantrip. If you've never heard what a cantrip is, it's basically a card that when it comes down replaces itself, and that's what Patrolling V-Wing does. You play it, you draw a card, and it's just there like a small unit. Even if it doesn't, even if it survives, it's just doing for 1 damage, which isn't much, but it's more that it's a unit. Comes down, replaces itself, helps you dig for your deck the kind of cards you want, especially if you've mulliganed and you haven't found what you're looking for, like a ramp and stuff like that. It helps you go through your deck a bit quicker to find it. And also that is a unit for the turn after to just basically swing with it, then use Palpatine to pay 1, pop it, and draw never cards. So you can kind of like dig for your deck a bit quicker. So we've got 3 copies of this because it's a very, very nice card. And I feel like it's an MVP for me, just because like how it just filters through your deck, trying to get your consistency going is really nice. Then we go on to the next last of the 2 costs of last of turn 1 plays. We got 1 copy of Admiral Motti. Now this card I want it up to 2 because I just found it very useful, especially when it comes to late game. You can put a ton of damage out very quickly, very easily, and using Motti as well, especially when you've got your leader's effect on either side to just kill your own stuff. Because just like Patrol Viewing, it's a 2 cost that only has the stats of 1/1. It's also Imperial Official, but its effect is when defeated, you be ready a villainy unit. So that's any unit that has villainy. So it's really nice, especially you can swing with if you have out. You can attack with Palpatine, use the effect to kill, defeat Motti, deal 1 damage to a card, and draw a card. Then Motti will trigger and restand Palpatine. So then you can tackle Palpatine again and do the on attack again. It's very nice. So you can get multiple swings of it, especially if you start chucking down late game huge units. You can swing with them if they can swing that turn and then kill Motti off and then restand them so you can swing again. I think in a turn I've done 30 something damage thanks to having Motti on board and a big unit. Basically just managed to put a lot of damage out and finish a game from next to no damage to basic game winning damage, which is amazing. So I've been tempted to up this to 2 because it's just very fun, very useful, especially with how Palpatine can easily control when it wants to defeat it, and it just helps for that late game push as well. So then we go on to the 3 cost ones. These are ones you can play as early as turn 2. And we got, first of all, Emperor's Royal Guards. This is a very great unit for Palpatine because it gets loads of benefits from basically having Palpatine as a lead and also what Palpatine brings down. Because it's a 3 cost, 3/4. So in that range of 3 costs, having the very nice stats, it's not like Boba level great stats of 3/5, but it can get there. But it's like with Millennium Falcon, Ezra Bridges, things like that, very good stats for a 3 cost because it's a 3/4. Is an Imperial, so that's it. But while you control a official unit, it gains Sentinel. So while you control an official, like say Motti, Yularen, or even Palpatine yourself when he's deployed, it gains Sentinel, meaning you can defend your every units in that arena and also your base from being attacked by your opponent's units. So very nice there. So especially when you can play Colonel Yularen turn 1 and this after turn 2, it's then Colonel Yularen's an official. Also, Emperor Royal Guard coming down is a command unit which heals your base if you have taken any damage, and then because Colonel Yularen's official, it gains Sentinel. And now the other effect on it is while you control Emperor Palpatine, this unit gains an extra basically 1 to its health. So if you've got Palpatine either as a leader or when deployed, so either in your leader area or when deployed, it gains an extra 5 power. So technically, with in any other deck, it's just a 3/4. It comes down that can be a Sentinel. But with Palpatine, if you're playing Palpatine as leader, it's a 3/5 that then can become a Sentinel if you've got an official down, and it's very easy to put an official down, like your Yularen, Motti, or even Palpatine itself when he's deployed. It's a very good unit, and because of that, we're going to put it at the 3 copies because it's a very good one. And it's not unique as well, so it's not a unique unit. So you can play multiple of these on the board, which is very nice. Then next we got our first part of our ramp, and that's Super Laser Technician. So a great one. Is only would set 1. There's 3 ramp cards in the game, being Super Laser Tech's Resupply and Command. So of course we're going to play the one that can only be really played without aspect quality in the Villainy side, and that's Super Laser Technician. So 3 cost, 2/1 Imperial. When defeated, you may put this card into play as a resource and ready it. So it's the only one of the 3 cards from set 1 that ramps. That basically makes use of the energy or the resource straight away. And it's only got 1 health as well. And once again, its effect triggers when defeated, so that's a never perfect opportunity for you to use Palpatine to pay 1, tap himself, kill 3 units, be a Super Laser Technician, to then ping your damage and draw 1 card. And then, of course, because Super Laser Technician was defeated, it will then go into your energy ready as well. So that means even though you got to pay 1 for your leader's ability to use it, or when it's in the leader area, you get that resource back thanks to Super Laser Technician ready in itself. So of course we're going to play 3 copies of that. Then we're going to play 3 copies of 7th Fleet Defender. So it's one of the few yellow cards we have in the deck. So we play a majority of Command. We don't play many Cunning, but the Cunning cards just do provide something great, something very helpful. And 7th Fleet Defender is a very nice one because it is a pretty nice unit. A good unit to put in the space race. 3 cost, 3/2, comes in shield as well, so it comes in protected as an Imperial vehicle fighter. So very easy to get that down, and also it's a great card because spoiler, we're playing Vader because it's one of the best legendaries in the game, and it's the same aspects as our lead, so we're going to be playing it, and it's basically all three of these and more are also like cards that can be brought out from, well, all these cards so far, apart from V-Wing and Yularen, are ones that can be brought out off of Vader's effect. So you've got 3 copies of this because it pretty much helps, especially when you go in against aggro, and you want to drop this down and start taking out their like Green Squadron A-Wings and stuff in the red freeze. Very nice card to bring out. Then we've got 3 copies of Sideboard card, so another card to help kind of deal with aggro, where it's a Sentinel, so it's a free cost, 3/3, Imperial and Trooper. It always has a Sentinel, but that's great because it helps make it so your opponent has to go through itself rather before it can go to your other units and also base. So once again, another card to bring off Vader. Nothing more to say about it. And then we got I think it's the last one, and it's General Veers. Just 1 copy of General Veers, and originally I thought this wasn't that interesting, that great. It just comes down and gives a boost to all the other Imperials, but especially when you bring it off of Vader, or when you start like swarming the board with all these like small units, then General Veers puts in work, because it makes your Sentinels even bigger. Like it makes your Emperor's Royal Guard a then 4/6. So a 4/6 thanks to Palpatine, and with Sentinel as well if you control an official, which he is. So he Veers with Emperor's Royal Guard will give you a huge Sentinel unit in Emperor's Royal Guard, and then it's an official to make sure it has Sentinel as well. So really nice, and it has pretty solid stats, a 3 cost, 3/3. So nothing more to say about it. Just a very nice thing to boost all. Like it boosts all these units except from Control V. I think it boosts every single unit in your deck apart from V-Wing, and another unit was seen a bit. But yeah, very nice one. Just 1 copy of it. It's pretty nice just to bring it out if you do. If you don't see it, it doesn't matter. If you do, it's pretty useful. Then we've got 1 copy of Grand Moff Tarkin, another one of our like 1 copy like tech cards, and it's a really nice one. That is a 4 cost, 2/3, so not the best stats for its cost, but it makes itself useful in the fact that it can potentially +1 you, and there's not many cards that actually give you a +1, and that means that like puts himself out there, and then also adds 1 to your advantage, like your card advantage. Most decks either like replace himself or minus himself, where you play it out into the board, so you lose it from your hand and not replacing it. Or if a card is played and replacing your hand, you just replace itself, not really plussed. But Grand Moff Tarkin can plus you. It's the only card I think there is that only gives you a +1, because or apart from V-Wing, because when he comes down, when he's played, he allows you to select the top 5 cards of your deck for any 2 Imperial cards, and then draw them. So any cards that have Imperial in their traits, which, as far as I'm aware, there isn't any events that have Imperial, but but it's a trait that's on a majority of your units. So I think, as I said, an Imperial, there's only 2 units in your deck that don't have Imperial, which is Patrol and V-Wing, and everyone will see in a bit. So there's been times where I've looked at the top 5, and there's been 2 Imperials. Just grab those, you get +2. So you put them down on the board, which is taking 1 card out of your hand. Then you put 2 more cards in your hand, which is a +1. And majority of the time, you're going to find at least a minimum 1. Hopefully, you're not going to you can have to be very, very unlucky to not get anything back. But you majority of the time, going to get at least 1 replace itself, or even just +1. And I've done it before where I've played them out and got 2 Devastators from my deck, or like a Vader and Devastator, like things like that. Just like just having that consistency going for, especially if you've got nothing else to do, is a very nice card to play. That's why we have only 1, because it could be very useful, and if it's not useful, just resource it. So that is the cheaper units. Now we go to the bigger units. So of course we've got Darth Vader being our like big old 7 cost legendary, and all these cards before it, apart from Grand Moff Tarkin, can be played off as effects, apart from, well, Grand Moff Tarkin, Yularen, and Patrol and V-Wing. All the rest, because they're dark units, 3 costs or less, you can play off it. Because Vader is very nice for a 7 cost, giving good stats at 5/7, bring you the Force, Imperial, and Sith traits. Also have Ambush, so the turn you play it, you can ready him and attack another unit in the same arena. But then also, when played, you're allowed to look at the top 10 cards of your deck for any number of Villainy units with a combined cost of 3 or less, and play each of them for free. So playing this and bringing out like Sideboard Guard, Emperor's Royal Guard is very nice, because then it gives you a very like nice unit, like potentially a unit with Sentinel, depending on like if you've got an official out, because Vader is unfortunately not an official. Or bring out Super Laser Technicians, that way you've got ramp straight to your board. Or bring out Veers to power up Vader so he's even stronger, or even 7 feet Defender to put something into Space Ray. So very good options, and a very nice card that drops. We're playing 4 free copies of it because it's such a good card. And now we're getting up to the bigger units. So first one before we go into space ones, there's a dark side that has some big spaceships. We've got Reinforcement Walker, so the big groundy arena unit. It's a very nice one because once again, this is the only ever unit in the only ever unit in this deck that isn't an Imperial. So the only one that isn't going to get a boost from Veers or like be searched for Tarkin. But he offers a really nice effect because he's an 8 cost, 6/9, so very bulky with a good amount of damage. And when played or when he attacks, you can look at the top card of your deck and either draw it and add it to your hand, or discard it and heal 3 damage. So you can use it like just to, if you don't care about the card or just want to heal, you ditch the card and draw and heal 3. Or if you want it, you just draw it to your hand. So a very nice way to offer more options to keep. Like you got a lot of ways to kind of keep a good hand size. You have usually a large hand size, like 7 to 8 cards potentially most of the time. And Reinforcement is a very nice one. Adds more heal, especially when combined with Colonel Yularen as well, to make sure you stay in the game and survive and basically take control. And also puts up quite a decent amount of damage out as well, which is very nicely there. So for 3 copies of these, because if you see it early, resource it, and when you start seeing them late, just drop them. Then we go into some of the space units. We've got 2 big space units. So first one we've got is Relentless. We've got 2 copies of this. Now I've gone for 2 copies of this because I feel it's more useful to have 2 copies of this than the other one because of control decks. You know, it's a good thing to kind of like hold off control decks that are like heavy, especially when they're heavy control decks, to make it so it's a harder time for them to actually do what they want to do. Because it's a 9 cost space unit at 8/8, so a big old spaceship, 8/8 power, an Imperial vehicle and capital ship, and its effect is basically the first event played by each opponent. Each round loses all of its abilities. So the first event they use in a turn, it basically does nothing. So if they want to use an event to kind of get rid of it or do something impactful, they have to bait out the effect of this first with a smaller event, just so they can play the event they want to play. So if they want to play Super Laser Technician, sorry, not Super Laser Technician, Super Laser Blast, they've got to spend some resources if they've got the resource to play that to use and then play Super Laser Blast, just to bait out the effect. Then use Super Laser Blast, which means it's taking an action, so you can at least get an attack with it first before they potentially Super Laser Blast to take it out. And then they've basically had to do stuff they didn't want to originally do just to play around your effect, holding them off. So 2 copies of this, and then 1 copy of Devastator. This is a legendary that originally when I first saw it, I thought this wasn't great. It's like a massive cost because whopping 10 cost, but it has some big stats at 10/10. Also comes with an Imperial vehicle and capital ship, just like most of the ships. It comes in with Sentinel as well, so it protects you from everything in the space arena, from like going at your lead or other units. Also has Overwhelm, so any excess damage it does when defeating a unit that exceed the health on a card is attacking go into your opponent's base. And also when it's played, you can deal damage to a unit equal to the number of resources you control. So the minimum it's doing is 10 damage, because that's what you need 10 resources to play, is 10 damage to whatever you choose. So you can use it, and it just doesn't have to be a non-unique like kind of command says, which is annoying. Just 10 damage minimum to any unit you want when it's played, which can kill basically almost anything. So the Whopper, and I always thought this wasn't a great one because it's a very heavy costing, not the greatest, but I've come to realize that in some decks it can actually be very useful. Like some control decks, it's very useful just to tick out something and then start hitting hard from it as well. And remember, these 2 spaceships are like very high costing but very like high powered cards, like 10/10 and 8/8. And remember, if you've got Motti and you've already got Devastator on board, and you start your turn, you swing with it, that's 10 damage. Pop Motti with Palpatine, restand Devastator, swing again, that's 20 damage in just 2 swings from this Devastator. And if you're going taking out units on the way and Pierce like doing the Overwhelm, you're putting some damage to your base while also taking out things as well, which is amazing. And then we've got, now that's all the units in the deck. That's all the units we play in the main deck. Now we go on to the events. And starting off, we've got No Good to Be Dead. Give a bit of control. It's a very nice way to like kind of mainly used on leaders to kind of lock things down, or even on big things, just keep them down. And with how the game works, where it comes to the phases, like most games, you probably, if you've played any other TCGs, you usually have like your beginning of your turn is when you do like the drawing of cards, untapping of any resources or energy and things like that, and then restanding with your cards, and then you go on to your main phase and your other phases to kind of like play the turn out. But in Star Wars, you start off in the beginning of your turn is when you do all your playing of cards, like deploying cards, playing cards, using events, attacking and things like that. And then the end of the turn is when you draw resource and then untap everything. So with how that works, with how it starts off, with your main part of the turn is the beginning, and the end part is when you do the whole resupply. With how this is worded, where you exhaust the unit and then you can't ready that unit can't ready this round. Where the end of the turn, end of that same turn is when you would restand the card. This locks a card down for 2 whole turns. It locks it down for that turn you play it, and also the next turn, because the end of the turn is when you restand everything. So this is a very nice card. We play 3 copies of Fix. It helps with the aggro when your opponent deploys Sabine. Lock it down so that way as Lee's not pinging you any damage. It's stuck down for 2 turns, and you've got a bit of time to then take it out. While you basically you establish and like try to control the game, or does any other leader when it deploys, you just go tap it down for immediately 2 resources for 2 turns, which is very nice. So it's one of the few, once like I said, it's one of the few yellow cards we've got in the deck, but you'll see more as we go on. So then we've got Sneak Attack. This is a very nice card as well. This is one that I've been I really like, but then I've been trying to try it more with Jabba just because it's a trick event, trying to reduce the cost and make use of it. But it's very nice in this because it essentially plays any card for, well, if it plays any card that's 3 or less for free, and any card that's higher than 3 for basically 1 cost less, because you're paying 2 resources to play a unit from your hand, make it cost 3 less, and come in ready. But at the end of the regroup, so end of the turn, it basically gets defeated. Well, at the start of the regroup phase, at the end, then you defeat it. So the thing is, like, it doesn't matter that it's gonna be defeated at the end of the turn, because you're gonna just pop it with Palpatine anyway to kill it off the draw card and ping some damage or something. So if it's gonna die anyway, you might as well pop it with Palpatine. So that's the one benefit of this. But the other nice thing is the card comes in play ready, so you can use Sneak Attack to play in like a Devastator, Reinforcement Walker, Relentless, and then swing with it that same turn because it comes in ready, and then say pop Motti with Palpatine to draw a card and ping some damage on to restand it again, then swing again, and then deploy Palpatine and then swing and pop it off and things like that. Like it's sort of like with Motti, Sneak Attack, and some of the bigger units, you've got some really nice plays with Sneak Attack, just to like game in, especially when your opponent's like, right, you can't, if you play anything, it's going to come in rested. You can't really attack my base, and you just come with a Sneak Attack, finish off once they take an initiative or past. You can blow up some games and kind of finish some games off quite quickly with this. This is one of my probably one of the MVPs of the deck. I actually did have a game where I had Devastator down. I was able to swing with Devastator for some piercing, Sneak Attack in Relentless, and then attack with that. Then play Motti, pop it, restand Devastator, and swing again to do like 28 damage in one swing to a base and just finish the game off right there. And it's just great in that aspect, especially when you get Relentless down. They can't use any they can't use any events because they haven't got enough resources to use it. Like bait one out and then use it again. It's very nice in that way. So next on we have resupply. So one of the other ramp cards we've got, just simply play and put into your resources put into play as a resource. Doesn't come in active, doesn't ready itself, unlike Super Laser Technician, but still never option the ramp, so they kind of help you get to your turn to deploy Palpatine faster and play at bigger things quicker. So 3 copies of that. Then we got 1 copy of command. So I put in 1 copy of command because this is one that will incur an aspect penalty because we've only got 1 command aspect on a leader and base. We haven't got 2. So because of this, we haven't got the second. We have to pay 6 for this. But this is really nice because it's another ramp option for later in the game, which is useful. And if you don't want to use it for ramp, it's got some other nice effects. So you can either give 2 experience to a unit, which could be very handy in making like Devastator even stronger to push damage, or even Palpatine even stronger, or even just anything, basically making anything you want a bit stronger with 2 experience. You can also allow one of your friendly units to deal damage to another unit that's not unique, equal to its power. So you can kind of finish off anything that's not unique, or kill something else that's not unique, using it as well, which could be very useful to save attacking. Just do like, say this card's going to do its power to your unit, and then you can put it into play as a resource with ramp it, or one of the nice little things where if you say you've only got 1 Devastator, you lose it from a mill or anything like that, or you lose a unit and you want to get it back to make use, then you've got the option to return any unit from your discard pile of your hand. So getting back one of your Relentless that you've lost because you haven't drawn into your second one, or say you lost your Devastator and need to get it back, or even if you want to get back a Vader or anything else back from your discard any unit, you can get it back, which is very nice. One of my favorite uses of this is to normally like pay to 6, and the 2 options I usually go for is to ramp it and get back a unit from a discard. But you do some very nice options, just that's the main 2 I use, and then the other one is potentially giving experience, because I hate the fact that the effect to make a unit do damage to another unit doesn't hit unique units, so it makes it a little bit less useful for that effect, but the other effects are very nice. Then next we got 3 copies of Overmild Barrage. This is one of the best events in the game, next to things like UN reinforcement stuff. And even though it's a high costing one at 5, it allows you to give a +2/2 to any of your units, any one of your units, and then after that, straight after that, allow that unit you give the +2/2 to do damage equal to its power among your opponent's units in any way you like. So especially if you use it on Devastator, if you power up a Devastator by extra 2/2, making it a 12/12, you then get to do 12 damage however you like across your opponent's entire board, which is amazing. And just even then, it's just a way to help clear board. Just pop damage on, make something stronger so it can attack something a bit harder, or attack base a bit harder, but also controlling board, which is the main thing you use it for, and it's at free because it's that amazing. Then we got the next 2 cards that are very useful cards and very nice ones to kind of make use of your leader's effect, kind of kill units to draw cards and popping damage, but also helping clear your opponent's board. So the rest of we have Change of Heart, very nice, very costly event that allows you to take one of your opponent's non-leader units, any one of them, and then give it back at the end phase. But the thing is, you're not going to give it back at the end phase because you use Palpatine to go ahead and pop it, kill it before you give it back. So you technically taking it from your opponent, made use of it, and then killed it off so they didn't get it back. So before they're going to get it back, I think they're getting it back to the board, you defeat it, and then they don't get it back. So a nice little removal built into Palpatine on the draw, so 3 copies of that. And then 2 copies of Traitorous. Kind of same thing as Change of Heart, just a little more selective in what you take, because you can only use it to upgrade. You can only take something if you do it on a unit that's got a cost of 3 or less. So nice for early game, especially against aggro, when they're playing out they're like red freeze or little units, and you've like ramped at least once. By turn 3, you can just do this, grabbing your opponent's units, use it to attack in there to help clear the board, and then at any point you want, just kill it off with Palpatine to kind of get a draw and then be done with it, which is very nice. So we've got 2 copies of that in here. So that is it for the main. We kept it a nice, I think it's a 50. I think it's 50 at the moment. That might be 51. I think it is 50. But this is the list, and also took it to my locals as well on recently to try it out to see how it would fare for my locals. And I managed to take it first place, got 4-0. Had a lot of fun, and it's just so enjoyable. I recommend trying it out. Now I do have a side deck, and we'll get into that now. So here we are with the side deck, and we've got the good 10 cards in. So we've got 8 cards, 8 different cards in here, but we've got 10 cards in our side. So starting off, we've got a extra copy of Multi. So I do want to put one of this like well, we have 50. You can see behind we've got 51 cards in our deck. I do want to cut it down, but then I think how it is at the moment it feels perfect. I might cut it down with like maybe a unit cut down to an extra one, but I do want to put a second copy of Multi. So for now, I've got a second copy of Multi in the side. So if I feel like I want to use it, it'd be useful for late game to kind of push through a lot more damage, then I will put in. But I do want to kind of put this in the main deck because it's very useful. Just easy ways that you can. It's a very easy way to kill off, thanks to Palpatine being able to have an always guaranteed way to kind of kill it. To then restand so you can get some big damage in. Really helps for when you want to close out a game. Because once you've got something established on board, even if you're paying 2, just to basically pop it off with Palpatine and restand when your bigger units attack and keep pushing damage. We've also got a third copy of Relentless for those control matchups to basically allow this to come down and then shut off their events. So if it's a heavy control deck, this to kind of hinder them in like as best as possible. Just got to make sure that when you do play this, you've got something else come to go with it. Because if you don't, and you've got this as the only thing on your board, and your opponent's got initiative and they're playing control, most likely an Avenger is going to come down and take this out without basically wasting their cards to try and get rid of it. So do be aware of that. We've got a second copy of Devastator, so if you feel this is going to be more useful over Relentless, you can always pop this in instead, and use this as a way to kind of like push damage, especially since it's hitting heavy from the space arena, which when it comes to the battle, most of it's done by the ground arena. So in the space arena, there's not many things that are played, especially things like this, and also being able to protect your base from the space arena. Thanks to having Sentinel, and also being a huge body to push through, and even then taking out things in the space arena while also pushing excess damage to your opponent's base is very handy. Just keep that clear and make sure the space is covered. So a very nice effect. Also take out anything now. Like I've got up to points where I've had like 16 resources, and then be able to come down and slam 16 damage to take out basically anything. Even a 10 damage is most of the time to take out anything. So that's the 3 units I play. While side M, and we got 1 copy of Restock. So if we are playing control, make sure we're playing the control meal variant, like playing more on this focus on meal, or high control where the only way they feel like they can take us out is by milling us out.
we're going to have one copy of restock in the side, so that way we can make sure we're not decking out. So as long as you keep holding that restock ready for when it comes to the late game when we're going to deck out, we can make sure we're not going to take the deck out damage and keep basically cycling itself. Plus another card you kind of want for the turn to make sure you keep constantly at the end of every turn, just going to go ahead and not deck out and keeps looping it over and over again. Then we've got one copy of Emperor's Legion. It's another one for against control or against a turn where you might establish stuff and your opponent just goes wide and takes it all out. This is a 2-cost event, and it's Imperial as well, so this is a card you can search off of Grand Moff Tarkin. Because an Imperial is Imperial cards. Remember, Grand Moff Tarkin just states it up to 2 Imperial cards, not units, cards. And this is an Imperial card, because it's got the Imperial tag, so you can always grab this off as one of the cards if you see it from Grand Moff Tarkin. And it allows you to return each unit in your discard pile that has defeated this same phase to your hand. So if you have like 3 units on board and they're all killed off by being attacked or taken out by effects, you can play simply just 2 to get it back. And the one nice thing about this is that you can always use it to, if you've got Relentless in the control matchup, you got him down and use an event to bait it out. You get an attack with it and then you take it out. You can always pay 2 for this, get it back to your hand and play it straight back down, or get your Devastator if it's been taken down back to your hand to just drop again. It's a very nice effect, especially if you go wide board and your opponent then manages to get a Super Laser Blast on you. Getting everything back from your discard back to your hand for 2 is amazing. Then we've got Free Spark of Rebellion. I love chucking this in my decks. Even if to pay an aspect penalty is worth it because it's very great for the control matchup. And especially since the control mirror, like you will have to pay 6 for this. No, you have to pay 4 for this. You have to pay 4 for this because unlike Iden, we are playing Cunning, so we only have to pay 4 for this. But this is great just to be able to look at the hand, take out, basically control what they've got in the hand. While you're drawing a load, you're then ripping cards out your hand while you're still drawing some from Palpatine, and be able to see what they've got and take out the most annoying card they've got, like a Super Laser Blast out in the hand, or ripping like an Avenger out the hand, or even there are restocks, so hitting the restocks at hand, so they have restock, or even things like Vigilance is very handy effect. So we put in 3 copies of this, and there's easy ways to take out things like No Good Need Day if you want to place this for against the control decks. Then we got a second copy of commands. So if you feel like you want to get a ramp, or you want to kind of make sure you're be able to recur cards back, or like take things out, or make things a bit more powerful, like Sentinel's a bit bigger, or even like extra ramp, and also getting things back that you might have lost. This is a very handy way to do it, because even though it's not aspect penalty, it is very useful because all its effects it offers. And then the last card we got is an extra copy of Traitorous. This is for the aggro matchup, just to have more copies of this, so you see it when you want to. So hopefully if you see a ramp for turn 2, like it be a Super Laser Technician or Resupply. As long as you see a ramp by turn 3, you're going to be able to get 5 resources and be able to then use Traitors to take one of your units, start attacking them back and controlling the board using their things until you get to later game when you can deploy Palpatine and start taking control. But remember, with side decks, they are personal to the basically person who playing the deck, the person's deck. So while this will work for me and I feel it's useful, it might not be the same thing for anybody else. Like people might want to have more things to deal with aggro, or they might think aggro is a bit more of a problem, so I have more things to help deal with aggro. While I'm more focused on the control matchups, always do take it with a grain of salt. If you see ideas, if the ones you do like, keep hold of them. But if you want to change anything up, make sure to do so to make it tailored to you. And that's it for today. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any comments on this, if you have any suggestions or any questions about this. Answer the best I can in the comments. But other than that, that is it from me. So thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.
Like a boss.